Hi everyone, Aiden here at the etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Yakima EXO SwingAway storage system and seeing how it fits on our 2023 Kia Telluride. Now this is going to be a very unique hitch-mounted cargo carrier. Everything that you see here is completely modular, so you can swap the pieces out, purchase them individually, or, like you see here, get it all as one large kit. Now what this kit consists of is the SwingAway base and the top shelf, which allows us to mount 2 accessories, and those accessories that come with it is going to be the Gear Warrior basket and the Gear Locker box. Now one thing that's important to note is that if you're watching this video and you don't own a Kia Telluride, to be careful, because this system doesn't work with every vehicle. It's very heavy, especially once you start to load it up. The empty carrier, as you see here, is 151 pounds. But you can fit 110 pounds in the basket down here and 80 pounds in the box up top. So if you've got it fully loaded, it gets very heavy, and you have to make sure that your vehicle and your hitch are rated for that kind of vertical load limit on the end. Luckily, the Telluride is good to go. It's got more than enough capacity, so you're safe with that. But if you're watching this for a different vehicle, just be cautious and check those things out to make sure that your vehicle can support this. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of versatility. And why you might go for something like this is for the storage space. Compared to just a standard hitch-mounted cargo carrier, you've got that basket space in the bottom here, but then you also have an enclosed lock box up top. This is a lot easier to reach than a roof-mounted cargo box, and it's going to just stack up all that extra stuff. So if we're going on a road trip and we need to get some stuff out here for extra storage, then you can. Because with that third row of seats up in your Telluride, the cargo space in the back is very limited. And if you need to have everyone's stuff somewhere, out here, accessible on the hitch, is the best place to go with it. See this large hand knob? That's going to be the thing that releases the SwingAway arm. Because even with that third row of seats up, we do still have some cargo space, and you probably want to be able to use it. We could put our heavier things back there, undo that hand knob, pull this pin here, and just push out on the SwingAway arm. That's going to rotate out a full 90 degrees, automatically latch in, and allow us to open up the back hatch on our Telluride and get to that cargo space on the inside. And here you can see what I'm talking about. With that third row of seats up, cargo space is very limited. You're not going to be able to get too much stuff back here. So if you have a car full of people, this is what makes it so easy to fit more stuff. Now obviously you could mount things on the roof, but for that you're going to need a roof rack, and it's going to be harder to reach. You're going to be adding a lot more height to the vehicle too. With something like this, I think it can be really great for a camping application because you can leave it swung out like this. It comes with a kickstand that you can have to support the extra weight if you plan on keeping it swung out for long periods of time like this. That way it's not putting so much pressure on the hitch, but it allows you to use this as this mobile station for your campsite. And you can swing this top shelf away. There's a pin and a hand knob up top that we can remove. It does lock up, and actually swing the whole shelf 180 degrees so that we can access the basket on the bottom and still access the box on the top. So if we wanted to maybe swap this to have the box on the bottom, we could do that too, and we'd be able to open the lid this way, or just have easier access to everything on the basket underneath. And again, you can just leave it swung out like this when you're at your campsite. And when you're done, this pin at the corner here, you can just pull that up to swing the arm back in. That first pin will relatch, and you can re-thread in the large hand knob to get everything secured and go down the road again. And with everything back in, there's a few things we want to talk about in terms of how it fits on the Telluride. With the box up top, we are going to be blocking a bit of our back window. Now, you can swap this to the bottom shelf like I mentioned before, but you will be sacrificing some capacity. So to talk about what that means, the basket on the bottom can support 110 pounds and can support 80 pounds on the top shelf, whereas the box on the bottom can only support 100 pounds, a little bit less, and it can also support 80 pounds on the top. So if you want to get the most out of your carrier, this is the optimal configuration. Personally, I would probably put the box on the bottom though, even though the lid would be blocked by the top shelf whenever it's swung in, and we sacrifice a little bit of weight. I think I'd take it for the better visibility with the basket on top. Now, obviously that depends on what kind of stuff you load in the basket. It might still block that back window, but it's just something to keep in mind. The other thing to note is that our taillights do remain mostly visible on the sides. They're going to be a little obstructed, but for the most part, it doesn't come in line with the box too much. And your license plate at the back does become very obstructed with this in place, and that's just with an empty carrier. There is a fix for that though. You can get a license plate and light bracket for the outside edges that will plug into 4-pole wiring. If you don't have that, you can pick it up here at eTrailer. That'll give you your turn signals, brake lights, and running lights at the back of the carrier, as well as a solid place to mount your license plate so it's 100% visible going down the road. It's one of those things that I just strongly recommend, and the carrier as it comes right now is pre-wired for it, so all you have to do is plug into the 4-pole wiring on your vehicle and you're good to go. For some specific measurements, the closest point to your vehicle is going to be right here at 5.5 inches, and because of how solid it is with the anti-rattle bolt and that hand knob for the swing away arm, I'm not worried about vehicle contact. For the furthest point out from the vehicle, how much distance it adds to the back, that's going to be coming in at 32 inches, which for how much stuff we can fit on here is very impressive that it doesn't stick out further. Just keep that in mind as we're driving around and pulling into parking spots that there is some added length. And for your ground clearance, from the bottom of the lowest point to the ground, it's going to be 14.5 inches. That is with zero weight in here, aside from the carrier itself. So when you load some stuff down, you might notice a little bit of drop, but I don't think it'll be anything significant. And 14.5 inches should keep you plenty high off the ground. Now as for locking points and accessories, you've got tons of locking points throughout the entire carrier. Your hitch lock has a lock on it. The top shelf has that lock that we showed you earlier. All of the hand knobs here have locks, so you can't swap accessories unless you have the key. No one can mess with it. And the box comes with its own set of locks to make sure that no one can get into them when you're not around. Now all of these different pieces don't necessarily come key to like. Luckily, Yakima does offer a variety of different lock cores with different keys, so you can find the right ones that match your whole system, easily swap them out, and get it all to a same key system very simply. That's just something you'll need to keep in mind as you get this, and you can find those here at eTrailer. Now as for swapping the accessories, it's very straightforward. At the end of the arms, you've got hand knobs, and you've got these two tabs. Just push them over to the left. There's going to be a small icon with an arrow, and that lets us know that we're ready to swap and we're unlocked. From there, you just turn the hand knobs to release these cleats on the arms, and you can just lift your accessory up and away from the arms. So if I decide I don't want the box, I can take it off and maybe swap it out for a bike rack or a camp kitchen. Or in the winter, we can put the box on the bottom and put some ski carriers up top. Like I said, it's a completely modular system, so depending on what you're doing and what season you're doing it in, you can match the accessories to your activity, and you can find all of those individual pieces here at eTrailer to mix and match it to your liking. Now, if there's anything else you want to learn about the EXO system kit that you see right here, or any of the other pieces, we've got tons of videos on our site and full reviews to go really in-depth to the EXO system and give you everything you need to know about it. But like I said, that's just been our quick look at the Yakima EXO SwingBase system on our 2023 Kia Telluride. Thanks for watching.